This is the project number 1. In this project, what we'll be doing is we'll be creating a schema. This is HANA Studio based project. Okay, there are some HANA Studio based projects and there will be HANA ABAP based projects. So I'm going to highlight on HANA ABAP based projects as well later. So first we are doing the HANA Studio based project. In this, the first one is to create a DB table, database table, uh, with automated. Okay, so auto generated field names, fields and their properties as well. Auto generated field names and with data as well. So everything will be picked up from the database, from the source file. Okay, so for that, what are the steps is the first thing that we have to do is we have to create a schema, guys. We have to create a schema. We need to create a schema. So for creating a schema, we need to write a code. You cannot create a schema with browsing. Okay, so we cannot right click and then create something. That will not be there for schema. Only for schema. Rest of all the things can be created with navigation. So the schema has to be under the catalog. Schema has to be under the catalog. Schema has to be under the catalog. So under the catalog, we'll have this. We can create the schema. We'll have already standard schemas as well. You remember we have sysbig. Okay, sysbig. So this was a standard schema, right? So we'll be creating our own schema, and then we would be creating the table. So the table name we'll be giving under the schema, under our particular schema, but the field names will be generated, so we can check them and we can validate them. If you want, we can change the properties or the field names, and then we can upload the data. Okay, so in the first project we're going to do it as it is, how we have done the same data we'll do it. So first let's build a file. So here we have employee number, say employee name.
Sir, we are not able to see the screen.
Okay, so what I just said is that in the HANA Studio projects. Okay, so in the HANA Studio projects, we are going to discuss about the create a DB table, auto generated fields with data, catalog, the schema. The schema name is sysbig, and table, in the table we create our own field names. Okay, so this is what we have. Let's go ahead and create a database table with auto generated fields. Auto generated fields, guys. Auto generated fields means from the source file itself it will take the field names. Okay, so I'll just go for the employee details: employee number, employee name, department, and date of joining. Okay, so date of joining I'm assuming is a measure. Okay, so here we have this as, here we'll have this as employee number as something like 100, and we'll select this. Employee name we'll give it as something like anything. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so department, all I'm keeping a department as SAP only, so let's keep it like that. And date of joining 2020 01 20 01 01. I'm keeping it as series, so each one of you are joining in a different date. Okay, fine. Now department is same, and we'll go ahead with we'll save this file, save as, and this has to be saved as a .csv file. So this has to be saved as .csv file. .csv file. So this will be like emp emp123. Okay, emp123. We have saved it. Yes. So we need to make sure that it's saved as a .csv. .csv file in the sense comma separated value. Now let's come to the HANA Studio. In this we have the catalog. Under the catalog we'll have too many schemas. Okay, these are all the schemas that we have. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and right click on this schema and open SQL console. So we'll not have anything like create schema option will not be there here. So we have to write open SQL command, and here we need to write create schema, and schema name is something like and then semicolon. We have to write semicolon. Semicolon is the period here. So we just need to write that and click on this execute. So it's been successfully done. So you can see this status here. It's successfully executed. Okay, we can see down. So statement create schema Vikramaditya is successfully executed. Then what we have to do is we just need to right click on this catalog, refresh, and then we will get that. So we don't have to search for it. We can just say filters, and in this filters we can write Vikramaditya and just say okay, and that will be displayed here. So we'll have this schema. By default, when we create a schema, all these options will be there. So it will have the column views, EPM models, EPM query sources, and then we have this indexes, procedures, sequence, synonyms, tables, triggers, views, all will be already there. So now the name of our schema is Vikramaditya, and then we go ahead with the tables, and in the tables we will not have anything. Okay, nothing is there. Okay, it will not have anything. So now what we have to do is we have to upload the file. And we have to create a table. So for that we'll go for this file and import. Okay, we'll go into the file and import. Now when we click on this import, you'll be shown this, and in this we have to go for this BW and HANA content. Okay, so BW HANA content from where? From the local file. Okay, so we have to go for data from local file. You have to select the data from local file and click on next. We need to select this server, the server name, and just say next. And here we need to make sure into which server we are going to into which table are we going to create this. Okay, are you going to create a new schema, or are you going to create a new table, or you are going to create an existing, we are going to load the data into existing table. So we are going to create a new table. That's what we are selecting. So we'll just select the drop down, and in this we'll search for our schema, that's Vikramaditya, and select the schema. So you cannot create a schema from here. Okay, we have to select it, and the table name is va_emp. Okay, some table name is va_emp is what we are selecting it. And then once we have given this, we have to browse the source file. From which source file we have to select? You just need to click on this browse, and then we have to select which is the field table name. So emp123 is the table. So I've just selected that. And then we have to go for this field delimiter is comma, because here because it's a .csv file, field delimiter should be always comma. And header row exists because why header row exists is when we have the first row filled with field names, so that header row will automatically be coming. So header row exists. So one, and just say next, and then by default the names will be generated here. By default the names will be generated. Okay. By default all these field names will be generated, and then if you want any field to be key field, you can select that. And now I want to change the properties of this date of joining. I want to make this as not integer, date. So remember guys, this is the only time when we can change the properties. Once we have created the table, we will not be able to change the properties again. So because the data also will be getting loaded. So if even if you want to change the name of this field also, we can change that. Okay, you can change the name of it, like department. Instead of department, you can go for, you can make this as department, and then you go for next. Go for next. So either we can change the field name or we can change the properties, and we can select any field as a primary key. I'll select this employee number as a primary key and then click on next. And all these fields, whatever values that we have in that table will be visible here. It's shown. Okay, it's just shown. It's so visible. So we have to go ahead with this one. So once it's been done, so we have to refresh this table, refresh this schema, then we'll be able to see that table here. This is the table. Right click on the table and go for open data definition. Open definition. You can see the definition. You can see the field names. Since we have changed the department as department, so now this is according to that only it will be there. Now we'll not have any option to change the properties here, guys. Okay, and the first field employee number has been considered as a primary key. And then we'll right click on this and go for open content. We'll go for open content, and in the open content we'll have these fields. These are the fields that we have. So the data also is visible here. And now if you see here, by default when we right click on this and create open content, when we click on this, automatically the system is executing on its own this logic. Okay, we can see on the top, select top 1000 select top 1000 star from Vikramaditya dot va underscore emp. What is Vikramaditya? It's a schema name. And what is va underscore emp? It's a table name. So we have to always mention it like this: the table name dot the field, the schema name dot table name. Okay, so this is what we have. Now in this way we have created the table using the schema based table which we have created, which is auto generating the field names. We can also create a table with SQL logic as well. So we'll also write the SQL command and then execute it, which we'll do it later. So this is a very simple project, guys. So first project for you, in which we have just created a table. Okay, so that's it.